Please rise as the chief guests are arriving.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to all present here for the inaugural ceremony of IGNITIA'25 HR Conclave on the theme Championing Ethical Tech and AI Integration, organized by Department of Management in association with Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy. We are honored to have such distinguished guests and participants with us as we explore the evolving intersection of human resources and technology. Let's begin this momentous occasion by evoking the divine blessing for the success for this event. To do so, we have Mr. Dhanush of MAHRM who will lead us in prayer.
Prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for your grace and mercy which holds our life today. And we are praying that you should grant us peace to our hearts and mind and give us good health to our body and grant us the wisdom, knowledge and understanding to act wisely, to grow in our field and to stand as successful people. And pour your blessings upon our chief guest, Mr. Satish Menon, first generation IT entrepreneur, Chennai, guest of honor, Rotarian PHF Anand, president from Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy, and Rotarian PHF Venkatesh, Occasional Director, Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy, and our college management officials, Director and Secretary, Brother Navin F., our Academic Director, Dr. Fatima Vasant, our Principal, Dr. Arokemari Geeta Rufus, our Vice Principal, Dr. Ananda Priya, our Head of the Department, Dr. A. Raja Sir, our faculties, students, and the participants of the other institutions. We submit this all to you and we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Dhanush. Next, we move to a significant moment in any ceremony, the lighting of the lamp. The lighting of this lamp symbolizes the dispelling of darkness and the arrival of knowledge and wisdom. For that, I request Danny sir to lead to the session.
Good morning, everybody. As already stated, lighting of the lamp signifies the dispelling of darkness and the igniting of wisdom. As our HR conclave is aptly named Ignitia, today we seek to ignite the flame of wisdom in all of our hearts. Symbolically, to do this, we have the lighting of the lamp now, and I request now our dignitaries to please go up to the lamp and light the wicks. I request our chief guest for the day, Mr. Satish Menon, to light the first wick. Sir. Thank you, sir. I request our director, Brother Navin, to light the second wick. I request our academic director and principal to jointly light the third wick. Paris fellow, Mr. Venkatesh, to please light the fourth wick. I request our head of department, Dr. A. Raja, and our student secretary, Ms. Amanda Maria Edmonds, to jointly light the fifth wick.
Thank you, sir, and thank you to your dignitaries for the lighting of the lamp. To officially welcome everyone present today, we have with us Ms. Amanda Maria Edmonds, the PG Department Secretary.
For your encouragement and commitment to the growth of the department and its initiatives. A warm welcome to Mr. Satish Menon, our chief guest of the inaugural ceremony. A visionary first generation IT entrepreneur. We are excited to hear from you, sir, and gain valuable insights into the intersection of technology, ethics, and artificial intelligence, and how it impacts the HR landscape. My special thanks goes to our guest of honor, Rotarian Paul Harris Fellow, Mr. Anand, President of the Senate Council, and also Rotarian Venkatesh Sir, the Vocational Director of the club. We are also honored to have our respected Dr. Raja, Head of the Department of Management, whose leadership guided us towards excellence. This event is a unique opportunity for all of us to engage in thought-provoking discussions, learn from industry experts, and deepen our understanding of how ethical considerations must shape the future of technology and artificial intelligence in HR. I extend a heartfelt welcome to all our igniters of today, the participants, students, professionals, and experts. Your presence has made this event truly special, and we hope that the knowledge shared in today's conclave will inspire you to champion innovation with responsibility and integrity in your own careers. As we embark on this journey of learning, growth, and insightful discussions, I hope you find this session both enriching and inspiring. Thank you, and I wish you all an engaging and fruitful day ahead.
Thank you, Ms. Amanda, for that warm and heartfelt welcome. Now let's dive to the essence of today's event. I'll request
Next, right? No resource can replace human resource, whatever may be the technology. Thank you. Good morning, one and all present here. Respected Chief Guest, Mr. Satish Menon, sir. First generation IT entrepreneur. Then respected Rotarian PHF Anand, sir, President Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy. Then Rotarian PHF Venkatesh, sir, Vocational Director, Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy. Then our Director and Secretary, Brother Naveen F. Our Academic Director, Madam Dr. Fatima Vasant. Our Principal, Madam Dr. Aruki Mary Geeta Rufus. Then our Vice Principal, Madam Dr. Anandapriya. Faculty and students from various colleges and from our Patrician College also. Happy to join with you in this wonderful session, that is championing ethical tech and AI integration. World HRs are celebrating International HR Day on 20th May every year. We are little ahead in this celebration. Theme focus is ethical integration of AI and advanced technology in HR functions and redefined future workplaces. HR must develop strategies that focus on empowering and supporting white collar, blue collar, and new collar talent. Through this targeted recruitment, onboarding, and talent management practices, while also investing in technologies that enhance their productivity and job satisfaction. 76% of HR leaders agree they will lag in organizational success if they do not adopt generative AI in the next 12 to 24 months. 72% of organizations in India prioritizing HR analytics. 35% establishing dedicated HR analytics team also. 22% of HR leaders are actively involved in enterprise-wide AI discussions, revealing a gap between awareness and actions. The aim of this HR conclave is to create HR champions with ethical, techie, and moreover AI integrated. Experts from industries are here to share their insights into HR and AI integration. Dear students, case studies will be given to develop your critical thinking and decision making. Are you a HR manager or AI integrated HR manager? You can showcase through Best Manager segment. Experts talk, panel discussion, case study, Best Manager. Definitely entertain and enrich your knowledge with the fragrance of AI. Change is the constant. Change is the constant. History says, once people afraid of machines, then people afraid of radio, then people afraid of television, later they afraid of computer, again people afraid of internet, once again they afraid of cell phones. Now people are living with all the above. Now the people are living with all the above. Dear future HR champions, 3 A's are required. 3 A's are required. Accept, adapt, and achieve. Accept, adapt, and achieve. Your colleague may be humanoid robots. Your colleague may be humanoid robots. Be friendly with complex anthropomorphic artificial machines. Don't be afraid. They are your friends. Let us join in championing ethical tech and AI integration. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for setting the tone for today's discussions. Next, I'm honored to invite our brother Naveen, Director and Secretary of our prestigious institution, to deliver the presidential address.
Good morning, everyone. Dignitaries on the dais and my dear staff and students. It's a wonderful occasion this morning, and especially your department. Later on in life, you will see many people who have passed out in this college will come to you for assistance. And you are a department and a team that leads by example how people should be in life. Yeah. So thank you very much for taking this initiative, and I also wish to hear the chief guest address. So I only can say, wishing the department, the head staff and the students a wonderful day today and all the best, and may you make the best use of this opportunity and keep wide open your ears to the inspiration that is to follow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear brother, for your inspiring words. At this moment, we like to extend our gratitude to some of the key individuals who have contributed significantly to succeed of this event. For this felicitation, I request our academic director, Dr. Bhaktima Basan, to do the felicitation.
Happy morning to all of you. I'm very happy to be part of this HR conclave on a very, very good contemplated theme. As the MC was saying, so critical and so relevant. I like the way you have coined this theme, championing ethical tech and AI integration. Congratulations to the team that worked on this theme for the HR conclave. Your HOD, we have, I think, students from other college, I must say, Dr. Raja, the HOD of the Department of Management of this college, has very beautifully given the context or the interpretation of these two combinations. How are we going to do? If you look at this theme, you look at its two different pillars, two standalone pillars. But then Dr. Raja very beautifully integrated them and also has set the tone for HR conclave. And on behalf of the management and all of us, we would like to congratulate Dr. Raja, his team of faculty, the students of the Department of HRM for organizing a seminar, a conclave of this nature. I'm also glad that you have identified the right resource person to be the chief guest for this conclave. And I understand that he is an IT entrepreneur. I'm sure you will not get a better person to address. In fact, I'm eagerly waiting for his technical inputs because AI is something, even though you said that human resource cannot be replaced, very powerful statement made by the HOD, but at the same time, you know the context today, you know the trend, you know the development. A human resource, if not equipped with other resources, particularly the IT resource, will be an obsolete person. No person is indispensable. And you can definitely today, whatever be your argument, and you would be like a cat in a dark room saying that, oh, all is so well, and no. You need to be integrated, equipped, and human resource today can be replaced. That's the job market, you know. The type of job opportunities that you have, you are aware of, you can easily be replaced. But if you want to be visible, if you want to make a stand in the market, if you have to be the person that you wanted, you need to be a very special one. And that is where I think we are looking at the AI as a tool, AGI. They were talking about also the generative AI as a tool. But then to what extent should you integrate and the ethical aspects of it? So I'm very happy that the Rotary Club has come forward to sponsor this HR enclave. I'd like to congratulate, appreciate, and thank the Rotary Club of Galaxy for sponsoring this event, and also my appreciation to all of the participants who have come from other institutions. I'm sure that at the end of the day, you are going to understand, because it's a little new for us, the concept. I don't think, we really have an in-depth knowledge on this. After you listen to the chief guest, or at the end of this HR conclave, you will surely go back with additional inputs, and that will give you more interest, curiosity to learn more about how are we as human resource, how are we looking at the various ethical consideration, the integration of the advanced, like maybe today, not the AI, the GAI, and I don't know what not more. For us, it's so perplexed, we are so confused, but then we have to carry ourselves in these complexities, and I wish this HR conclave all the best to the organizers and to all of you, dear participants. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Patrician, we have a very facilitating and appreciative culture. And therefore, to signify this appreciative culture right now, we are going to honor our guests for the day. And I request first our Director and Secretary, Brother Naveen F., to honor our Chief Guest, Mr. Satish Menon, first generation IT entrepreneur, with a memento and a bouquet. Next, I request our Academic Director, Dr. Fatima Vasant, to honor Paul Harris Fellow Rotarian Anand, President, Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy, with a memento and a bouquet. I now invite our principal, Dr. Arukumari Geeta Rufus, to honor Paul Harris Fellow Rotarian Venkatesh, Vocational Director, Rotary Club of Chennai Galaxy, with a memento and a bouquet. I request our HOD, Dr. A. Raja, to honor our Director and Secretary, Brother Naveen F. I request Dr. Sasikala to honor our Academic Director, Dr. Fatima Vasant. I request Mrs. Pauline Jeromina to honor our principal, Dr. Arukumari Geeta Rufus. Thank you, sirs and madams. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir, and dear dignitaries, for this cooperation. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for the day, a visionary in the field of technology and entrepreneurship. I call upon ILAKIA V of 2nd MHRM, who will introduce our keynote speaker.
Good morning to everyone. Mr. Satish Menon is the first generation IT entrepreneur who, after completing a successful 2 decades of entrepreneurship, is now ticketing item from his to-do bucket list. This is making him exploring a new areas and learning a new skill, and his beliefs that every day is a new day, bringing with it immense opportunities and learning. Mr. Satish grew up in Mumbai, where he completed his education and started his entrepreneurial journey. The journey has been taken across the entire length and breadth of India, as well as the around 20 countries and around the world. Being an entrepreneur has helped him to learn the implementation and different aspects of running successful enterprise. Mr. Satish has been the Toastmaster since December 2013 and progressed through the leadership position at the club, area, division, and district. He was the District Director of Toastmaster D120 for the term of 2021 to 2022. Mr. Satish is the avid traveler to new destination every year, an avid reader with around 4,000 books in his library, an avid collector of miniature, art craft, model, and aviation memorabilia. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ilakia, for that wonderful introduction. It is indeed a privilege to have with us today Mr. Satish Menon, a first-generation IT entrepreneur whose journey and insights are bound to enlighten and inspire us. Now I request our dear Satish Menon to take the stage and to deliver the keynote address.
esteemed guest on stage, and esteemed guests on stage, and all my fellow friends who are sitting here today. Very good morning to you. Good morning. Now, before I begin, you all heard them introduce me saying first generation IT entrepreneur. I just want to kind of give a bit more background about this before I start on my session. So we founded a company called Thirdware Solution, 5 of us. First generation IT entrepreneur when we say, because our parents didn't have any business experience. All of them were either working in a public sector or they were school teachers, some of them were professors. So when 5 of us got together in the year 1996 and we formed a company called Thirdware, at that time we did not know that our journey would be so long. In the year 2022, is when we sold that company to Tech Mahindra. So what started off as a 5-member organization grew up to 500 plus in a period of 23 years. And along the way, we also had the Ford Motor Company take 20% stake in Thirdware. Now, why I say this is because when we started off, our key requirement was people, because we were a services organization. We were not a manufacturing organization. So when a services organization starts up, the key requirement is people. How do you get the right resources to work with you? How do you build the right talent to work with you? Because every engagement that you do should be the best. I had a customer who once used to tell me, and that always stayed in my mind, is saying, you could be the best in your field, but you are only as best as your last engagement. Which means that you cannot go and tell like 30 years before I did something. No one is bothered about what you did earlier. They are all bothered about what you did yesterday. That's what is very important. And so when we started this journey, because we were hiring people, the first set of people that we hired were students like you from college, fresh out of college. So some were engineers, some were BCom, chartered accountants. They had no work experience. But the way we trained them and groomed them, when the time we left, we sold the organization, most of them were still there with our organization. And most of them had risen to senior level positions in the same organization without having taken a break. So if you look at our attrition percentage, it was very low. And people used to ask, why is it so? Do you pay industry grade salaries? And I would say, no, we don't actually match what the big organizations give. We were in no position to match those kind of salaries. But what do you give? I say we give a combination of a decent salary and a great working environment. Now this might sound very kind of preachy to say what is great working environment. But for every resource in the organization, be it a junior level resource to a senior level manager, if they don't see them being happy, like somebody used to ask me, what drives you to come to work every day? I said, I go to work every day because I love doing it. So that love doing it has to be there. It should not be getting up in the morning and saying, well, I have to go to work today. Right? Another 3 more days to go before it's the weekend. No. You should love to go to work. So when you provide the right atmosphere and engagement, people will stay with you. They are not going to quit. And there is a misconception in the market saying that people will always quit for salaries. Salary is only one factor for which people quit jobs and go to higher jobs. Bigger amount is the right environment that you give. What is it that they are learning on the job? How is it they are growing on the job? And that is where the challenge of HR comes in. Now, if you look at HR, as an organization, it is the organization which gets beaten up for everything. Those who have worked will know. If a resource doesn't turn up on time, it is HR's problem. Right? If a resource asks a higher salary, it is HR's problem. If a team cannot get the right resources to work on a project, that is HR's problem. If a workforce has not been trained adequately, it is HR's problem. If salary increment doesn't happen, it is HR's problem. If my laptop doesn't work, that is HR's problem. Huh? Right? If work from home is not being given, that is HR's problem. Right? If the cab doesn't come on time to pick up the resource, it is HR's problem. If the coffee or tea is cold in the pantry, it is HR's problem. Right? So if you look at it, it's a very important function in an organization. Right? Everything that you look, end of the day will come to HR. Nobody will say that the manager did not give the guys good work. They will say it is HR's problem. You didn't put the right person on the job. Right? I've seen people give unrealistic requests for resources, and when the resource doesn't turn up, they will say HR did not bring the resource. Some resources will say we will come on a certain day, but they won't come. Why didn't they come? That is HR's problem. Now, what control will HR have on people who did not turn up after taking a job offer? So it's a very important function, though it's much ridiculed also sometimes, and a lot of memes get made on HR. Okay. I can very much relate to it because my daughter is an HR professional. So there is an HR professional sitting at home, so I know what happens. But it's a very important function in an organization. And most of it has got to do how you connect with people. Today, when you look at a lot of trends coming in the industry, till some years back, it was not that way. It was purely people connect. Let me give you an example. I had a HR person who used to work with me. He was such an efficient guy. If you tell him that I need a resource, he will go heaven and earth to get that person. And if you don't take that resource, next time an opportunity comes, he will come and tell you, sir, you know, 2 years back we had interviewed that person. I can get him back. So that was his level of connect to people. How could you connect with people and get things done? Once when we were doing an engagement in Australia, there was a resource who was supposed to go and that person couldn't go. And the project was on red status. When you say red, for those who don't know, red means it is stopped. Okay, you cannot go ahead. So what do we do? Overnight this guy worked. He caught hold of a resource in the in UK. And he figured out that a UK person can travel to Australia without a visa. He told that person, you get on the flight right now. The person got onto the flight. He took a 14-hour non-stop flight to Australia, landed in front of the customer and said, I have come here to solve your problem. Now that is how HR kind of works in an organization. You have to have that people connect. That time there was no technology, so most of it was done on either Excel sheets or it is being done on, maybe people remember it in their minds. But that people connect is something which HR needs. But as you grow an organization, what do you do? Today when people recruit, you recruit by the thousands. It's not possible for somebody to kind of go to the net, download 1,000 profiles and see which one matches, which one doesn't match, how many we have interviewed, how many we have not interviewed, okay? How many people we have rejected so that we don't need to call them back if the same profile comes again. Okay? How many people did we shortlist last time but did not call, so we can go and call them this time. Today the hiring volumes are huge, though today the market is facing a bit of a downturn, but it is only temporary. That is where technology comes in. How do I screen which are the resources which I want? How many of you in this room use LinkedIn? Very few as a percentage, right? So as students, I would advise you to please open a profile on LinkedIn and create your own profile and start building that profile. Why that is so important is any recruiter, any employer, any employee, LinkedIn is the place where they will go to search. If you're looking for a job, you can post on LinkedIn. If you got a certification, you can post on LinkedIn. If you got a promotion, you can post on LinkedIn. Okay? You can go and connect to other people whom you know. You can write articles on LinkedIn. That builds up your credibility and your profile. And don't confuse it with Facebook and Instagram. And don't try using it like Facebook and Instagram. Okay? It will backfire on you. Facebook and Instagram is more to connect with friends and relatives and all that. LinkedIn is more on your business profile. Yeah, please keep that in mind. I've seen some people use LinkedIn like Facebook, and that's why I advise them don't do it. Yeah. How that helps is every recruiter in the world today will immediately land up in LinkedIn. And the reason they land up in LinkedIn is they can get to know a lot about you. If they go and check my profile, they can find out who are the other people whom I'm connected to. Other people whom I'm connected may also know somebody else or may also know you. That way you can do background checks on how I am. I can get references posted on LinkedIn so people will know how effectively have I worked in the organization which I was there. Even students do posting on LinkedIn. You can post your graduation results, you can post any awards that you get. It's a very powerful tool. Most companies go there to search, and today LinkedIn is being integrated with a lot of AI to find out the right job search for people. So when people are searching for jobs, they actually use AI on top of LinkedIn. LinkedIn also has an AI. So if you take the premium way of LinkedIn, it could actually tell you who looked at your profile, where your profile is being seen by people. Okay? Recruiters can go and check who are the people who are available in the market for a particular skill set or for a particular job set, okay? And immediately check up their references. So that's again a form of AI which is happening on LinkedIn. A simple tool which everybody can use. Is LinkedIn going a bit far? Today, they are not breaching any ethical stuff, okay? Because they are very clear, they will only post what you have posted. Okay? They don't go and search in the background about you. They will only post what you have posted. And why sometimes this becomes so important and how tech is today helping that is earlier, there used to be a lot of fake profiles roaming in the market. Today also there is. I don't say there is not. There are a lot of fake profiles which float in the market. I know of a recruiter who used to tell me that there are people who have taken overseas assignments by giving telephonic interviews where the person who gave the interview was not the person who turned up for work. You would have seen, as students, you would have seen it only in the movies and all, but this used to happen in real life. And this is before AI. Huh? Today with AI, so you can create a clone of yourself and tell that clone to give an interview. But this is before that. Person giving the interview is not the person turning up for work. But the entire selection used to happen by, I would say, experience. So the interviewer would say, but this was not the voice that I heard when I did the interview. The voice is somebody else's. Yeah. Or they would say, but this face doesn't ring a bell. Then they will kind of go and search. Today with AI, it's gonna, because you can have cameras that take photo, you can do Zoom interviews, you can actually store the photo and the interview. You can tell that person to show your details, their details on the phone itself. So the technology has gone a bit ahead. That's the way it is progressing. But is it kind of indulging too much into your personal data? Certain people do. I know companies that do a background check. They also go and check your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere to get your social profile of what you are as an individual. Now, some might say it's unethical. Why should the company be bothered what I post on Facebook? Right? But there are some people who do it because they want to know maybe sometimes what your political affiliations are. What are you writing on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, right? So you have to be kind of very careful on what I do on social media. Today, tools are available which allows everybody to find out everything. If people think that the government doesn't know what you're doing, for example, I tell people if the government wants to find you, it will find you in 5 minutes. Yeah. They have that kind of tools, and most of these tools are available for free. It's the sad part, right? Most of these are available for free. Anybody can get an information about you. So when you are Googling I always tell people, don't Google too much about yourself. Okay? It's a good thing to Google too much to find out how popular I am on the net, what are the articles that are happening about me. But please remember, every time you put a search for yourself, you may exit the search, but that search engine is still searching about you in the background. So it is going, searching, creating more information about you. Next time somebody else does a search on you, it will give that person more information compared to what it gave you. So tech actually is scary if it is not used in the right manner. But in an HR setup, it is very useful for starting, for example, if you want to hire people, if you want to get hired, I would say make yourself marketable on LinkedIn. Go get a LinkedIn profile, create a good profile, take references from people. You could take references from your professors, you could take references from your course-mates. So more references you put there, the more the profile goes up in the search engine. Okay? Talk about your achievements, because the first recruiters go only there, to LinkedIn. Second, they go to references, which is why we say getting references is very correct, important. Third is writing a resume. Writing a resume is also an art. Some people write 5 pages resumes, some people write 1 pager. Depends on what the organization wants. I have seen certain organizations where they will say, we don't want the resume more than 1 page. Okay. In that 1 page, you have to say whatever you want to say about yourself. But some will ask you to write details, where it goes to 4 or 5 pages. So writing a resume is also an art. Earlier, HR people used to download resumes from, say, Naukri or other websites, and they would used to read through it, pass it to the hiring managers, and they would look at it and say, okay, bring this person. Today, there are enough tools available that will search it by keywords. So I will just say, I need a resource, 5 to 6 years experience. These are the skill sets. Should be willing to travel across the country, should have a passport, okay, should know to speak English, Hindi, Tamil, or some other language. Just put in that keywords. The tool will automatically give me all the profiles. Okay. So the HR's job of actually going, opening each profile looking is gone. Today it will people will also filter it saying, oh, don't give me resumes who have already been interviewed by the organization. So it will get with that kind of filter also. Okay. So that's tech for you. What tech is kind of ramping up. And some people ask you to do background checks. Now, earlier background checks were being done by organizations. There are still organizations that do background checks. For those of you who don't know what background check is, some companies insist that if you give a profile, they will ask for your educational certificates, and they will go do a background check to say whether this certificate actually belongs to you. Have you passed from this university in this year? If I go and say I have worked in this organization for 5 years or 7 years, they will go and check whether you have actually worked. Some organizations go to the extent of checking whether you have a police record against you for certain jobs. Okay? Now those are all done by private companies which specialize in that kind of work. But today, with the advent of AI, all of that is out there. Somebody wants to check whether you have a court case against you, you type some keywords, automatically it will come up whether you have a court case against you. Okay? That is the power of AI. So when you are writing resumes, when you are checking resumes, always learn the art of writing a good resume. Because those keywords are the ones that will pick up and take you to the next level. And there are tools that do it, which is why as HR professionals, budding HR professionals, you should be aware of all this. Okay. The days of traditional HR are gone now. Nobody will kind of say, call up. Earlier there were what people would say, hiring placement agencies, which should some HR guy will call and say, please send me 20 profiles, 30 profiles. Now placement agencies are gone. They are there, but they do higher level placements, like CEOs and board members and senior managers. For the others, it is more, you have to do it yourself. Go to the tools, use the tools, download. But to use the tool, you should know how to work on the tool. Let me tell you, many people don't know how to actually use LinkedIn also today, in its true extent. Okay. It's got much more than what it can give, but very few people use that. Okay. So as HR professionals, you should first know how to kind of use tools like that to kind of move ahead in your journey. And I would advise that anybody who's wanting to do this, please get trained yourself on a ERP. People, all of you, or most of you would have heard of an ERP called SAP, right? How many have not heard of SAP? So means everybody has heard? How many of you have heard of Workday? Workday is a pure HR tool, very much popular in the US, now getting popular in India also. Why I said SAP is, SAP is one of the foremost ERP solutions, but now they have built in a lot of HR capability. As HR professionals, if you want to get trained, there are enough places where you can get trained on SAP or Workday. Why I'm saying this is the basic technology you will encounter whenever you go into an organization. Very few organizations actually work on paper and pencil or Excel sheets today. Most of them will have these tools. So being equipped to know how to use that tool, it's a plus point for you. Nobody is going to train you on it. When I started my career working on an ERP, nobody trained me. And I'm lucky nobody trained me, because they gave me all the manuals and said, you start reading and implementing it. That's how I learned. Today people will expect you to be there, to be ready. Okay. So look at some of these tools and see how you can get trained on it, because these are the basic tools which will kind of take things ahead. And as you move through it, like the recruitment I told you, even when you are inside the organization and you're working with people, earlier there used to be goal setting. They will set goal set for people and say, what will this person do during the course of the year? Okay. How do you refine the goals? How do you take feedback from their managers? Okay. So all of that used to be Excel sheet. But today, tech is replacing that. The tech will automatically tell managers, okay, this person's review is due. This person has to be done, a performance review is due. Or if a person has to undergo training, has that person undergone training? Earlier it also used to be, I sent 5 people for a training. Now somebody has to take a feedback to say, has those training happened properly? Are they using it in the right manner for which they were trained? It was all subjective earlier. Today with technology, it is all happening online. Feedbacks are being collected online. Today when you take an Ola ride, after the ride they ask you for a feedback. So today's feedback mechanism with resources is becoming online. And all of that is being driven by tech. Now will you ask me what kind of tech? It's all, I would say, different types of it. The basic of it is again AI or standard solutions like the way I talked about. It is being used to kind of drive all that information to people. So the role of an HR is now becoming more of a facilitation role. You are not actually doing something. If a resource says that my manager is not kind of giving me right work, you can't go to the manager and say, give this person right work, right? Because you don't know what that work is. You can only facilitate based on data. If somebody comes to you with a harassment issue with some person, you can only facilitate the discussion and the investigation to find out whether this happened in the right manner. You can't dictate to say, this should happen. Right? When that happens, the role of an HR professional becomes more of a facilitation role. And it's not a direct interventional role. And to be more facilitative, you obviously need to have good communication skills. One of the things which I learned with working with people is, great people, great managers always have good communication skills. Okay. They are the ones who will connect very well to people. They are the ones who are friendly with people. The example of the HR manager which I gave, he could pick a resume which was there 5 years back. And he used to tell me that he used to keep in touch with people even when they were not selected. And his logic was, if I keep them in my radar, tomorrow if a requirement comes, I can always call the guy back. So that was good communication and interpersonal skill. Today with technology, a lot of that can be done much better. Yeah. People will say, my job is to only give the resume and forget about it. No. Your job is to ensure that you bring the person online. Your job is to work with that individual. The job is to ensure that that individual is clearly working with their managers, which is where tech plays a very high part. Okay. Today, performance appraisals are happening online, and based on that appraisal readings, companies are taking decision to say whether a person is a good people manager or not a good people manager. I have had the experience of working with individuals who were very good in their line of field, very good. Okay. But they were not very good in working with people. So team members used to come and say, I will not work with that manager. Because their team bonding skills or interpersonal skills were not good. Then there were others who were like average. But everybody wanted to work with them because they will say, these guys, they help us to grow. So how do you measure all of that? In a smaller organization, you can measure because you're talking. Bigger organizations need technology, which is where technology like the ones I mentioned, SAP, Workday, and a lot of the AI tools come in. They get you all the data, they make you feel understand what's happening, and then you take decisions based on that. Okay. Hiring decisions, increment decisions are all driven by data. A lot of people will say, but how much of that data is actually used after I quit the organization? Most organizations will delete your email ID the day you put in your papers. But the data is still lying with them. Which is why we tell people when you're working, don't use official email IDs for sending personal information. Okay. ID gets deleted, but the data is still there. Okay. Which is why you have to be very, very careful when you're handling emails. What I can send on an email, what I cannot send on an email, especially your official email ID. Some organizations say, I don't want you to serve the social media when you're working. There are bigger organizations where you will not be able to access Gmail or Yahoo from their company account. You can't access Facebook or other things. Why? Because they don't want you to do that. Is it a good HR practice? In a way it is, because they don't want you to kind of serve the net when you are working in an organization. How do they control that? They control that only through tools. I have seen organizations where they catch somebody when they have sent an email which had company specific information going out to somebody else. Got immediately tracked to that person and said, you send this email. Somebody say it is data privacy. You are breaching my personal data. It's your personal data, but it's also company's data. So you need to be kind of very clear about that. In this age of tech, when we are working, the differentiation between what is right and what is wrong is a bit blurred, okay? Especially with related to information. And with HR also, the only way you can develop it better is if you learn the right tools. And like ma'am said today, everybody is replaceable. Okay? If you are not skilled, you could just get moved away. Okay? More and more people will come with better skills to kind of replace you. Don't be worried that a machine is going to replace, because the machine will never ever bring a human touch to it. But more and more skills will come which will make a lot of these jobs redundant. More of the technology is redundant. Okay? Classic example I always give people is, you have a cameraman here today recording the video, but a video can be recorded on this also, right? So this is effectively, you can take a photo, you can record a video, I can do a voice call, I can do a video call, I can send any documents that I want. Okay, I can send any email that I want, can only be done through this. Earlier this was 7 or 8 different appliances. Today it is all in one. That is how the world is moving today. There are people I have seen in the organization who have joined, but who have not reinvented themselves. They just sat there and said, I will only do this. In 3 years, they didn't have a job because the technology had moved so far. Which is why in this age of tech, it's a very exciting world. There's a lot of opportunities out there for people. As an HR individual, HR professional, there's a lot that you can do with tech. Things like I spoke, LinkedIn, SAP, Workday, AI tools, a lot of things are there. which kind of bring all these things and make it less complicated and less difficult. So what is the job of an HR professional, if I would conclude? It is to more build interaction with people. It is to build interaction with people. It is to ensure that everybody in an organization gets what they want. Okay. People have the right career path, including you, and you grow as the organization grows. Don't get stuck to saying that this is the way I did it and this is the way I'll keep doing, because the world changes overnight. Okay. Look what DeepSeek did, no? It just came out of the blue and it blew all the others away, correct? So if NVIDIA or ChatGPT would have thought nobody is going to touch us, we are the kings, overnight they got beaten up. So that is how the world changes. The only way you can go ahead is if you keep reinventing yourself. Reinvention is very, very important, especially in a field like HR. Okay? Your customer, I would say, when I say customer, is HR's customer is always the employee, any employee in the organization. So the needs of the employees, the needs of people will always remain. It's only how you kind of address it using better technology. And if you can use technology to be that better individual whom people can relate to or whom people can connect to, you are the person to go to. So do explore all of this. Start with LinkedIn first for yourself. Okay. Learn some of these technologies, like I said, SAP or Workday. That you go online, you will get all these tools which are there. There are online tools which will tell you which are the technologies that HR people use. Okay. Some of that may not be relevant to you at this point of time, but at least it's a good thing to have the idea about it. Okay. Because without technology today, nobody can work. I know of a manufacturing company, let me tell you before I close. They were a manufacturing company. In that, when the new CEO came in, he passed an order saying that everybody in this organization, right from the CEO to the fresher who joined, should know how to program. He said everybody should know how to program. That's an order he passed. The second organization, like Salesforce. How many of you have heard of Salesforce here? Salesforce, again, please go and look up. It's a very powerful tool used by salespeople, but a very powerful tool. Salesforce CEO said, I am not going to hire any programmers. I don't want. So one side there is somebody saying, I want programmers. Other side somebody saying, I don't want programmers. But what I want, he says, I want people who know the system very well, who know the process very well. So what does this both tell you? Tech will grow. On the side of tech, gradual learning will also grow. So keep gradually learning, keep gradually innovating yourself. It's a very wide technology. It's a new area. AI has not been explored to the fullest in India. Maybe in the world also it's not been. The only people who use AI to the fullest today are governments. Okay. They are the ones who use it very powerfully. Very few of the others have used it to the way it can be used. A lot of it is still in the hands of individuals who are using it to kind of do their own things. Like ChatGPT, anybody can use, right? Anybody can use ChatGPT. So it's more left to individuals who are using it. The full advent of it has not yet come to the world, but there's a lot of opportunities which are there in that. Because it handles data, it's also sometimes ethical on how you kind of use it. Typically, somebody can't use my photo without my permission. That's actually the law. But how many of us know that in India? Right? If I want to share somebody's photo, I have to take that person's permission before I put it somewhere. But very few of us know it. So we just share it blindly. Okay? So that's what is very important for all of you to know. So keep learning, keep reinventing yourself, and I'm sure you will all become successful. Stick to your basics. You should know what the basics are, but don't sit saying that I am the best and the world is not going to change. Okay? The world is changing dramatically. What is good today will not be good tomorrow. It's that fast. And keep connecting, keep speaking to people. That's how you will build the connect and you will grow up the corporate ladder, and also on the personal journey of success. Thank you, and all the very best to all of you.
Thank you, sir, for that insightful keynote address. Your words were truly enlightening and will serve as a guiding light for discussions today and more to go. As we come to the close of this inauguration ceremony, I'll call upon Ms. Sweta from 2nd MHRM to deliver the word of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. It's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this momentous occasion. First, I would like to thank the God Almighty for showering His blessing upon us. And I would like to thank our chief guest for inauguration, Mr. Satish Menon, first generation of IT entrepreneur, Chennai, who spared time from his busiest schedule to create this occasion. Thank you, sir. I would like to express my sincere thanks to our director, Brother Naveen F., Academic Director, Dr. Fatima Vasil, Principal, Dr. Arokya Mary Rufus, and Vice Principal, Dr. B. Anandapriya, for this unwavering support and vision in making the event possible. I thank wholeheartedly the faculty members of our department, especially our HOD, Dr. A. Raja, for always bringing up the best of our abilities through innovative initiatives such as IGNITIA 2025. My gratitude is due to all the participants from other colleges who are responded to our invitation and are participating today, as well as our patrician participants. Thank you.
Thank you, Sweta, for the beautiful word of thanks. And with that, we come to the end of the inauguration ceremony of IGNITIA 25 HR Conclave. We wish you all a thought-provoking and insightful day ahead as we explore the theme, championing ethical tech and AI integration. Thank you for your presence, and we look forward to the enriching discussions ahead. Thank you. Now I request the faculty and the PG department secretaries to join for the photo. I request you all to come to the stage. PG department secretaries, I request you to come up on the stage. I request everyone to arise as the dignitaries are leaving the hall. I request everyone to stay in the hall.